ESPN. USA 1 and Rambo play tag. And Bigfoot, on the verge of a world championship on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge, gets plucked by the Thunder Chicken. Monster Truck Racing is next on ESPN. The superstars of monster truck racing will go side by side on one of the most famous dirt track racing facilities in the entire country. We're at Lebanon Valley Speedway. The promoter here, Howard Commander, is the promoter of the year in auto racing. It's a well-respected facility, and today it took on hours of rain, but thousands of fans are still packing in, and the track is going to be ready for side-by-side monster truck racing action. The big story before we even go racing today, though, is on one truck that's not here. Army Armstrong's got that story.
Well, thanks, Scott. As you know, normally this is the portion of the show where we interview the winner of last week's event. That's an impossibility. Last week's event on television was won by Dennis Anderson, the Gravedigger. However, since then, in a non-televised event, the truck was completely demolished. Now, Dennis Anderson's okay, but I'm standing with the man that was running him when the accident occurred. Andy Brass, the driver of Bigfoot. Tell me what happened on that run in New York.
Well, it got down to Dennis and I in the finals there, and both of us come off the line about right. We was running pretty well even across there. I started to pull away, and by the time we got down to the finish line, I looked over and seen Dennis kind of heading off to the left, and I backed out of it and kind of watched him, and all he did was just veered real hard to the left, hit the wall, bounced a few times down the wall, and just really messed the truck up. They
said the TNT official had to use the killer box, and that's what actually stopped the truck.
Yeah, that's what it was. I think what happened, actually, I think Dennis thumped his head up on the roll bar inside the cab, and it kind of knocked him dizzy there for a little bit, and he just stuffed into the wall.
Well, Andy, everybody's waiting for the return of Bigfoot 8. You came out storming, both barrels smoking, but you're having all kind of problems. You have put a couple of wins under your belt. Tell me what the problems were and how you got them ironed out.
Well, a lot of the problem we've been having with the truck is it's just been wanting to do right hands between the cars there, and every time we come off the cars, it pulls a right-hand turn. There's a lot of the problems. I think a lot of it was we're just trying too hard with the truck. I think we might have broke a locker in the truck, and we're out here on a 10-day tour. It's kind of hard to get parts shipped in, flew out, or whatever, and get them all put in the truck. So we've just been backing out of the truck a little bit, trying to drive it easy, you know. We've been turning the fastest times of the night almost every place we go, but still, you know, it's just going to have to back out, take it easy, and just try to run with the guys.
Well, right now we're going to bump over to Chris Chapman. He talked about a 10-day tour. He's taken 2 wins on the tour. Chris Chapman's with the driver of USA 1. He's another truck that's taken 2 wins on this tour.
Thanks, Army. Another truck that's won several events on this Fast and Furious New York tour is USA 1. Driver Steve Wilkie, how are you guys holding up under this pace?
Oh, I don't know, Chris. We hurt the truck the other day here, and that was the first time, you know, in 7 days that we've hurt the truck. So actually, we're holding up pretty well.
Now, you have won several events. What does that make you feel like as a driver out here, as a racer, competitor?
Well, confidence is always a good thing when you're driving a monster truck or driving any race vehicle. It gives you a lot of confidence. Being a new driver now, I've been at it, you know, about a year and mostly indoors. But when you go outdoors with our truck, it's one of the fastest trucks in the country, I believe. And, you know, in saying that, if I can drive it, it's going to win.
Speaking of fast trucks, this is a very, very fast course that we're getting ready to race here tonight in West Lebanon. What do you think about it at the conditions? It's been raining here most of the day.
Well, I need to correct you. It was a fast course, Chris. You know, we were looking at hitting the second stack close to 60, 65, 70 miles an hour when we first pulled in this morning, and we got a downpour here in the valley, and now we're down 35, maybe 40 miles an hour, if that, and there's going to be a lot of trucks out of shape.
Well, we all wish you the best.
Thank you, Chris.
Let's go back now to Scott and Army.
As we get ready to see the superstars go into action, let's check the season point standing. Equalizer holding on by 32 points in the battle over Bigfoot to try and take the world championship. Carolina Crusher, a solid third, then the Auto Value King Crunch, and Gravedigger round out the top 5. But remember, Gravedigger is done for the year. We'll see if he can hold on to that spot. It doesn't appear likely because USA 1 is nipping on his heels already. Nightlife, Awesome Kong, Outlaw, and Buffalo Tremor round out the rest of the top 10. The superstars go into action next on ESPN. ESPN's coverage of the TNT Monster Truck Challenge coming your way from Lebanon Valley Speedway. Speedway in West Lebanon, New York, as we go into the first round with Rambo. This is Bill Weaver out of Hastings, New York, to take on the well-known USA 1 truck, Steve Wilkie out of Ham Lake, Minnesota. Now, these two trucks also went side-by-side in qualifying, and Rambo actually beat USA 1, although they were just racing against the clock. This is side-by-side action in first round racing. To the second set, they're even. And they get together at the end of the track. Both trucks are going to be okay, it looks like. They collided at the end of the racetrack after what appeared to be a dead heat coming across the finish line. Here you'll get a great view. Look how bad Steve Wilkie went out of shape. But he gets back on, makes a legal run, it appears, and then USA 1 and Rambo collide at the end of the run. Wow, a dandy race. It looks like both trucks are okay. There you see Steve Wilkie, and he is running for the videotape camera. TNT's timing camera will actually tell the story of who won the race, and that is what Steve Wilkie is trying to find out right now. Chris Chapman's got our microphone down there. Let's see if Chris can get over and see what Steve's got to say.
What's wrong?
I'm just making sure I hit the cars. Again, it's so slick out in the mid-range. I come off the first stack and she went nose over. But his left front was coming in. You can see where he hit me with his left front tire. Everett's not going to be happy about that. But True Value Chevrolet, I'll tell you what, it's crazy out here. It's too slick to be good for anybody.
You all did come together. Could you tell how did that happen?
Yeah, his left front tire hit me right in the driver door. There's no doubt about it.
The crowd's chanting your name right now. We still, I don't think, have a decision on a winner. Can you tell?
Again, you just put the camera on the truck, guys. Thank you. True Value Chevrolet, Top Tracks, everybody that puts them on. I'll tell you what, it's great, and I wouldn't be doing anything else in the world. Thank you.
Again to the replay, and it's actually the right front tire of Rambo that smacks into the driver's side door of USA 1. There you see the damage done to the truck, built and maintained by the Everett Jasmer stable out of Minnesota. Let's watch him once again, and listen to the crowd. The crowd chanting USA, USA, as they obviously think that Steve Wilkie's truck won it, and it is just, I don't know, you can't call it as they come across that finish line. Obviously, TNT will call somebody a winner.
Need to verify something. Do you think that Rambo came into your lane and hit you?
Oh, no, absolutely not. That's something that happens in racing. No, we came together. I was going to the middle, he was going to the middle. My point was that was his left front tire, and if his left front tire hit me there, I had to be in front of him. And they just announced that I lost. I need to see the tape. I'm sorry, Chris. Again, everybody that puts them on, I'd like to thank you, but I need to get back to racing. I'm sorry.
Steve Wilkie going to go check the videotape, but TNT says its replays show that Rambo got the victory by the narrowest of margins. First round action continues as Bigfoot number 8, the state-of-the-art truck out of St. Louis, takes on Thunder Chicken, certainly a decided underdog against Andy Brass and Brass's quest to bring the World Championship for the first time back to St. Louis and the Bigfoot stable. Oh, Bigfoot's in trouble. Brass is on the brake. Kid RARIG, Thunder Chicken hits the second set of cars and will win it. A huge upset at Lebanon Valley Speedway as the Thunder Chicken knocks off Bigfoot 8. Certainly, it was not a pure win for Thunder Chicken in terms of him just outright beating Bigfoot, but you've got to be able to handle the course. And Bigfoot 8 with terrible handling problems that have plagued him on the outdoor racetracks. Boy, it gets him again. You see Andy Brass had to lock it up to make it a legal run, and Thunder Chicken beats him. A huge upset. Thunder Chicken will go in to the quarterfinal round of competition with a victory over Bigfoot under his belt. Kid RARIG pulls the upset, probably the biggest of his career. Army Armstrong is with Kid RARIG.
Kid, there's an old song out. If you're going to take a licking, it'll be the Thunder Chicken. I think you can go back to the Bigfoot people and start whistling that right now.
Yeah, I think this is what you call one of those miracles. I heard my truck started stumbling, and I looked over, and Bigfoot wasn't doing what he's supposed to do.
You know, now, for your sake, you say it's a miracle, but you run hard every time you go out with these guys. You just might be due for a win right here. The truck ran good.
I do my best. I'll just go round after round.
You're going to the next round, and he's going in the trailer.
Thank you.
A critical loss in the season point standings. Let's go to Chris Chapman and see what Andy Brass thinks about the huge upset.
Andy, all you can say about a run like that is it just too wet and sloppy out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You know, this is a real sloppy track tonight. And as you can see, USA 1 and myself both, you know, some of the fastest trucks around here. We're not doing nothing out here. You know, it's just too much motor, too much wheel speed. You're noticing that the underdog trucks, the guys not running no horsepower, the big pleated tires and stuff, they're doing a lot better, you know, because they don't need the horsepower out of the hole, or they don't have the horsepower between the cars, and where we got the horsepower and the wheel speed, and it's just killing us.
I saw you tried everything in the world to get that thing back under control and then try it again. It just didn't work for you.
That's right. It's like being on ice out there. You know, you just step on it a little bit and it just wants to pass you up, and you just can't hardly correct it. You know, every time you do something, you're counter-reacting what the truck's trying to do.
What do you think, Equalizer? This could be a chance for him to gain some more in the points championship against you.
Yes, it is. You know, Equalizer's been running real good tonight, and he laid down a real good straight run, a fast run. You know, one of the fastest ones of the night. So he might do real well. But then again, one of the underdog trucks might come up and knock him out early too.
It's a wide open night, and coming up, the quarterfinals on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. Bigfoot won't be there. You're looking at probably one of the most famous vehicles of the specialty variety in the country. That's Doug Rose's Green Mamba jet car, heating the crowd up at Lebanon Valley Speedway, West Lebanon, New York, as the TNT Monster Truck Challenge is getting ready for the quarterfinal round. Maybe they'll try to track out a little bit. Of course, a great job done by the crew at West Lebanon and Lebanon Valley Speedway to get this track ready to race at all. Huge downpours earlier today, but it's still somewhat sloppy, and that has cost the high horsepower, high dollar trucks like USA 1 and Bigfoot. Equalizer hopes to build on his point lead. Here he goes against Nightlight. A victory for Greg Holbrook, driving the Equalizer Chevrolet, the defending world championship truck, getting the victory over Dave Wysorek at Nightlife out of Nebraska. The Equalizer takes the victory and moves into the semifinals. And of course, with Bigfoot on the trailer, every victory adds more points to the total, and that lead continues to grow. Watch Dave Wysorek get sideways at the end of the run. Let's go to Army with Greg Holbrook.
Greg Holbrook, I think we're talking slick out there tonight.
Yeah, it's drying up. Some more trucks run over, tell them to dry out. The first set of cars on the left side throwing you over to the left because of the track being slanted. We've come and compensate for that, and it's been working real good.
Well, Greg, getting ready now for the semifinal round. One guy who won't be there is Dave Wysorek. Nonetheless, the Nightlife man had a wild ride. He's going over to talk to Chris Chapman. Chris?
Dave, is the track getting dangerous out there?
Yeah, I landed a little slick. I got a little crooked, and I backed off. When I backed off, I started to slide, and it was like, just hang on.
Is the track, do you think, getting worse? We'd heard that it was coming around, getting better.
Well, not really. As long as you stay on the main track, it's not so bad. But I tried to crack, and I started to slide a little bit. And then when I got on the cars, my front wheels were still turning. They just swung the Aspen right around.
What was going through your mind when that was happening?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Just hold on.
USA 1 is not done. He is back in the quarterfinals. He got back in by virtue of being fast Luther. And who should he face for the third time on this night at Lebanon Valley, New York? Rambo. Rambo has got the better of him the first two times. And what's that old sports adage? It's tough to beat a top dog 3 times. We'll find out if Rambo can get it done right here. Wilkie trying to exact a measure of revenge. They're even to the second set. And the True Value Chevrolet, known as USA 1, lost to Rambo twice, but wins the most important encounter of the night because there's no fast loser coming back in the semifinals. USA 1 puts Rambo out of the competition. Or maybe Steve Wilkie learned something on those first 2 losses to Rambo and learned something indeed about handling this racetrack, which seems to favor trucks that make less horsepower. USA 1 makes a lot of horsepower, but here he handled very well and gets the victory. Steve Wilkie comes up with the win over Bill Weaver and Rambo. One more time, we'll see him coming right at you. USA 1, left of your screen, is going to get himself a big win over Rambo. Let's go down to Army Armstrong with your winner, Steve Wilkie.
Steve, part of being a professional driver is being able to maintain yourself and come back. I really thought you lost it. You seemed like you were really upset after that first round loss, but you did come back. You're still in it.
Yeah, I mean, you can see where his right front tire hit my driver's door, and when that happens, it's, you know, I got to be in front of him. But looking at the timing tape, I'm just going by what they tell me. I'm pretty high-strung when I'm racing, as we've discussed before, and all I can do is thank True Value Chevrolet, Everett, and all the guys back at the shop for getting us here. My crew chief this week, John Rose. So that's all I can do, just pound on him.
Now you got one more thing you can do. Let's go to the next round. We'll see you there.
That's right, equalizer.
Steve Wilkie getting ready for a Chevrolet showdown coming up in the semifinals between USA 1 and the world champion Equalizer. Now a Vic Ford still alive with Bigfoot out. The Ford fans cheering for the Outlaw out of New Jersey. The Superweight sponsored ride of Mike Wine. He'll take on the Chevrolet of the Carolina Crusher. Gary Porter, Wadesboro, North Carolina. Crusher actually was beaten in the first round, but is back in as one of the fast losers to take on the Outlaw. Nightlife beat Crusher earlier. Crusher will win it. So two trucks that lost in the first round come back to the fast loser rule and earn berths in the semifinals. One is USA 1, the other the Carolina Crusher as he gets the victory over Outlaw, and officially Outlaw is disqualified for not hitting the second set of cars. Look at the problems for Outlaw, right where everybody else has been having the problems in that lane, coming off the first set of cars. Gary Porter wins it despite the wild ride for the Carolina Crusher. Army Armstrong is over near the Crusher truck. There you see Porter getting out. Gary gets the victory. Let's send it down to Army now and see what Gary thought of that wild ride.
Gary Porter, the track is really giving you guys some weird, and I'm giving the benefit of the doubt of the track, weird bounces out there.
It is. You know, I qualified fastest and come back and lost the first round, and fortunate enough to come back as a fast loser. And that round on the second set of cars, when I landed the truck, you know, it just bounced way up in the front end, and the track's getting really rough. The track's drying out. We're getting faster, and the cars are getting mashed down with holes in them.
Let's talk about that bounce at the end. The same thing happened to you at Louisville, Kentucky a few weeks ago, and you just almost didn't get it set back down.
That's right. You know, the truck just takes a bounce like that. Once in a while, it'll hit a hole in the cars, and the front end will bounce up, and the rear end will, like, try to pass it up under the truck, but I'm just having to drive it the best I can and hopefully take the wins.
Carolina Crusher is into the semifinals. We'll see Gary Porter back in that Chevrolet a little bit later. Mike Wine is looking into the engine of the Outlaw Ford. Don't know if he had an engine problem. Obviously a handling problem because he went way off course in that loss. Chris Chapman is down there. Chris is going to talk to Mike Wine.
Mike, obviously DQ'd on that round. You didn't hit the first and second set of cars, but what's the problem with the truck?
What happened, the cable for the fuel cut off in between the round. When I come up to go up there, I bent the cable onto it. I had no fuel at all in the system. The cable's sticking wide open. The cylinders are just filling up with fuel is what's going on. Got to go back and put another cable onto it, and we'll be back.
You're looking at the truck built by Gary Cook that went to the World Championship a year ago. And there's the first World Champion back in 1988. Everett Jasmer's USA 1. Steve Wilkie drives it. And this is a matchup, as I just mentioned, of two World Champions. The only two trucks that have won World Championships since monster truck racing became a sport under the TNT banner a few years ago. And the reigning champ is going to win this one. Equalizer defeats USA 1 as he continues his quest for a second straight world title. And to do it, he puts away the USA 1 truck. A big win for Greg Holbrook's Equalizer, and with Bigfoot on the trailer, Holbrook's got his truck into the Monster Smash final. This could be a very big night for a possible world championship for the Equalizer Chevrolet. Here's the replay. You can see again the problems coming off that first set of cars for USA 1 as he really got thrown to the center. Equalizer wins it.
Greg, right now, everything's looking good. You're going to the final, but I noticed Steve Wilkie is still working the crowd. What's with this guy?
I don't know. He's always real good with the crowd. He's a real good person to work with. Our truck's working real good in this lane tonight, and I believe you're going to see Equalizer win in the finals.
Greg Holbrook making no bones about it. He thinks his truck is going to take it all tonight at Lebanon Valley Speedway. He's got one more race to win. And there's Steve Wilkie in USA 1. Army mentioned him working the crowd. Wilkie really does a great job of playing up to the crowd and taking that truck over so all the Chevy fans can get a look at one of their favorites. There's another of the Chevrolet people favorites, the Auto Value King KRUNCH, and Scott Stevens. He's out of Woodlands, Texas, and will take on tonight's fast qualifier, Gary Porter, and the Carolina Crusher from Wadesboro, North Carolina. Porter, as we documented earlier, got away with maybe a bit of a mistake or a lapse in the first round. He lost his first round race to Nightlife, but came back to the fast loser and won in the quarterfinals. Now, in the semis, will pull it out at the end. Again, that right-hand lane seems to throw all the trucks off kilter when they get in between the stacks of cars. And Scott Stevens was no exception in the Auto Value King KRUNCH. We're going to get a look at the replay. Watch the KRUNCH truck have problems in between the stacks of cars, and a nice straight run by the Carolina Crusher will put him in the Monster Smash final against the EQUALIZER. So the final two are both Chevys, EQUALIZER and Carolina Crusher, and they'll be going head-to-head in the Monster Smash Final. This is what it's all about. The Monster Smash Final, the championship of the evening in Lebanon Valley Speedway, West Lebanon, New York. It's Carolina Crusher taking on the EQUALIZER. Two big Chevrolets and the two Chevys that battled for the World Championship a year ago, with EQUALIZER edging out the Crusher in points. Crusher not going to be able to knock off EQUALIZER for the World Championship this year. It looks like Bigfoot's the only one with a chance to run him down, but Crusher wants to beat him badly here. Let's see if he can do it. Not on this night in New York. It's Greg Holbrook driving the EQUALIZER to the victory at Lebanon Valley Speedway in the Monster Smash Final. And what a big, big night this is for Gary Cook, Holbrook, and the entire team as they try to hold off Bigfoot in the World Championship points battle. EQUALIZER wins it. Let's go to Army with Greg Holbrook.
Greg, I noticed when you came in, you gave a thumbs up to the guy you just beat. It's kind of good running against a guy like that. You know, is this going to be a good race?
Yeah, Gary's always a good run. Me and him run together a lot. It's tough every time you run him. I got stuck up there in the right lane that run because he had fastest qualifier. I had to give her all she had.
You knew he was going to do that to you, though, going into this thing.
Yeah, I knew that, and we was up there looking at it before I had to run, trying to pick out a line to run.
Let's check the points after EQUALIZER's big, big night at Lebanon Valley Speedway. He opens it up to 46 points over Bigfoot in the late stages of the season. Bigfoot still got time to catch EQUALIZER, but he's going to have to start winning. Carolina Crusher is still third. He's not out of it, but he's 70 in back of EQUALIZER. Rounding out the top five, still the trucks of the Gravedigger and, of course, the Auto Value King KRUNCH. Then it's USA 1, Nightlife, Outlaw, Awesome Kong, and Buffalo Tremor rounding out the top 10.
Gary, looked like on the starting line there, you might have been playing a few head games with the rookie driver, Greg Holbrook.
I was, wasn't really playing any head games. I was just wanting to make sure I had everything right, ready to go. I knew it was going to be a real close race. I lost out the first round. I was fortunate enough to come back in the bottom bracket as a fast loser, and really losing the first round helped me more than anything, I think, tonight.
You have been probably the most consistent truck on this mini-series. Do you feel like you're going to continue? There's a little bit more left of it.
I hope so. I got a few more shows of this truck, and I think I got 5 more races with this truck, and it's sold to a guy in Missouri, and then I'll be bringing my new truck out in August.
Tell us about that. Do you think that that's going to help you maybe win the 1990 TNT Points Championship?
I think it will. I was hoping the truck would come out early in the spring, but, I done a tour out west and stayed gone 3 months and came back. And I hope the new truck is going to be about 2,000 pounds lighter, and it should be a whole lot faster to take the points win at the end.
But the Carolina Crusher continues to be strong in the old form, just not strong enough on this night in New York. EQUALIZER wins it. We'll see you next time on ESPN's Monster Truck Challenge.